booktube, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about representation outside of America, and for that I decided that I would script this video, at least in part, because I want to get this right. In July, The Guardian released an article which revealed that only 1% of main characters in children's books were BAME. And for those who don't know, BAME stands for Black, Asian and Other Minority Ethnic Groups. It's a bad term, yes, but it's also bad statistics, and I want to talk about the statistics in this video. The statistics were not a surprise, they were not a revelation. I knew they were coming. It was just a tired sense of disappointment that I felt. And I am grateful, to be able to support representation written by anyone, but especially own voices. But I am tired of having to choose in matters of representation. Do I choose my womanhood or my Chineseness? Do I choose my ethnicity or my diaspora? And it is so tiring to always have to choose. I said before that no representation is ever going to fit anyone perfectly, and I stand by that. But the very distinct lack of Scottish Chinese protagonists makes me a little sad. The lack of adoptees makes me a little sad. I'm not saying that I want something to fit me exactly, because I very much don't, but I feel like the spectrum is not broad enough as it is. And while I don't like having to make those choices, I know that I will have to continue making those choices. And I don't think that's really ever going to change, at least not anytime soon. So until that change comes, I thought, rather than just sitting back and bemoaning having to make these choices, I would boost BAME voices. There are lists online of BAME authors that you can find, but a majority of them are English. So, not exactly what I want, but I'm hoping that by bringing more attention to BAME authors in general, that it will eventually trickle down to us here in Scotland, and maybe I will be able to find and boost Irish and Welsh authors along the way. So until I start my BAME book series, I thought I would highlight some authors. The first is Aminatta Forna, who is a writer of literature and the autobiography The Devil That Danced on the Water. The second is Jackie Kay, who writes literature, I think mostly LGBT, and who was the third modern Makar. I also want to recommend Malorie Blackman, who has been probably the foremost BAME author, as far as I'm aware. Even when I was in primary school, long before any of this gained traction, she was someone that you could find in the class bookshelves. She writes a lot of children's and YA books, and I have read some of her books. I think they're really interesting, but she's particularly known for her Noughts and Crosses series, so I would recommend that you look into that if you're interested. Next is Nikesh Shukla, and he has been in quite a few anthologies, for instance The Good Immigrant and A Change Is Going to Come. And A Change Is Going to Come is an anthology of stories written by BAME authors, so if you're looking for a place to start, I would highly recommend that one. There's also Saini, who is a science journalist and has published some books for those who like non-fiction. There's Roma Tearne, who writes literary fiction, some contemporary, some historical. Muhammad Khan wrote I Am Thunder. For those of you who like to cook, there is Ching-He Huang and Nadiya Hussain, who also wrote a really nice contemporary book that I really enjoyed. It is called The Secret Lives of the Amir Sisters. I hope that this video has been interesting to you. Thank you for watching, and bye.